Welcome back to Chat English, where we teach you the real English you need for messages and conversations.
Today, we are going to build a psychological polite shield for your text messages and emails.
Imagine it is Monday morning. A client forgot to attach an important file, and if you reply with, "You didn't send it," you sound angry, aggressive, and rude, making you feel that awful tension right through the screen.
I actually did exactly this at my first office job when I used the past simple to tell my boss she forgot a document, and she was so offended that I just wanted to disappear under my desk.
By the end of this episode, you will have 3 copy-paste formulas to politely point out mistakes and protect your professional relationships just by changing your grammar.
I really wish I had known these formulas back then. It would have saved me so much embarrassment. So, Jessica, explain to me why my boss was so offended when I said you didn't send the document. I was just telling the truth. The document was not attached to the email.
You were stating a fact, Dave, but in English, the tense you choose completely changes the tone of your message. When you said you didn't send it, you used the past simple tense. You used did not plus the verb.
Right. I used the past simple because the action happened in the past. She sent the email 5 minutes ago, and she made a mistake 5 minutes ago.
And that is exactly how our brains work. But here's the secret about the past simple in English. When there is a problem, the past simple can act like a pointed finger. It focuses directly on the person and their specific failure in the past. It sounds like a direct accusation.
Ah, I see. It sounds like I am pointing my finger at her and saying, "You are the one who made the mistake. You failed."
Exactly. It creates a feeling of blame, and nobody likes being blamed, especially at work or in a busy chat. It creates a lot of unnecessary tension and makes the other person feel defensive immediately.
So what should I have done instead? Because the fact was still true. I needed that document to do my job. How could I tell her the document was missing without pointing that angry finger?
This is where we introduce the present perfect tense. It acts as our polite shield. Instead of pointing at the person, the present perfect points at the situation right now. It completely shifts the focus away from the mistake and focuses only on the current status of the project.
The current status. I like how that sounds. It sounds much more professional than focusing on a mistake.
It is incredibly professional. Many students feel a little scared of the present perfect tense because the rules seem complicated, but it's actually very friendly. It's the perfect tool for checking your workplace to-do list and managing relationships.
So how do we build this polite shield? What is the basic structure we need to use?
We build the present perfect using the person plus the word have or has plus the action verb. But be careful, the verb changes. We call it the third form or the past participle.
Ah, yes, the third form. So the verb send becomes sent.
Exactly. The verb attach becomes attached, and the verb receive becomes received.
I like the easy ones that just end with an E and a D. They're much easier to remember when you're typing fast on your phone.
They are, but because we're talking about chat English today, there's one very important pronunciation and spelling detail we need to cover. In a formal academic essay, you might write, "I have," but in a chat message, a Slack update, or a quick email, we almost always use the contraction.
The contraction, that is when we push the two words together to make them shorter.
Yes, so I have becomes I've. I apostrophe V-E. I've.
I've. So I don't say I have received, I say I've received. It sounds much more natural and casual.
It does. Now, here's the magic of the polite shield. To point out a mistake, we're going to use the negative form of the present perfect, combined with our first magic modifier word. That word is yet.
Yet, Y-E-T. How does that word work?
We use yet for negatives and questions, and we usually put it at the very end of the sentence. It's a very hopeful word. It means this hasn't happened right now, but I fully expect that it will happen soon.
So it leaves the door open. It doesn't sound like a final judgment. Let's test this in a real scenario.
I love a good quiz. Let's do an ABC test for our listeners.
That is a great idea. Listeners, imagine you're sitting at your desk, you have a cup of coffee, a client emails you and says, I sent the contract photos over. But you look at the email, you scroll down to the bottom, and there are absolutely no photos attached. The email is empty.
We've all been there. It's so frustrating. So, which reply is the best one to send back to the client? Option A, you forgot to attach the photos. Option B, you didn't attach the photos. Or option C, I haven't received the photos yet.
Let's analyze these before we reveal the final answer. Look at option A. You forgot to attach the photos. What is the emotional feeling of that sentence?
It feels like an attack on someone's memory. You forgot. Nobody likes being told they have a bad memory or that they are careless. It makes people instantly defensive and maybe even a little angry.
Exactly. Now let's look at option B. You didn't attach the photos. This is the past simple we talked about earlier.
Right, it states a factual truth, but it points a very sharp finger directly at the other person. You didn't do it. It is a direct accusation, just like the mistake I made with my boss.
Which leaves us with option C, our perfect polite shield. I haven't received the photos yet. Listeners, if you chose C, you are absolutely right.
Let's break down why option C works so beautifully. I haven't received the photos yet. Who is the subject of that sentence?
The subject is I haven't received.
That is brilliant. You completely removed the word you from the sentence. You are not saying you made a mistake. You are simply saying my inbox is empty right now.
Exactly. You take the focus completely off their mistake and put it entirely on your current situation. You are just reporting the status of your computer screen. It removes all the emotion and all the blame from the conversation.
And you used the word yet at the end of the sentence. I haven't received the photos yet. It softens the whole message.
It really does. When you say, I haven't received them yet, you are giving them a chance to fix the mistake without feeling embarrassed. You are helping them save face. Have you ever heard that phrase, Dave? To lose face or to save face?
I have. It is a great phrase. To lose face means to look stupid, incompetent, or embarrassed in front of other people. So saving face means you protect someone's professional dignity. You allow them to fix a mistake quietly.
Yes, the polite shield helps everyone save face. It prevents a simple misunderstanding from becoming an argument.
You mentioned the word misunderstanding there. That is a really great vocabulary word for our listeners to know. What exactly does a misunderstanding mean in this context?
A misunderstanding is when two people have different ideas about what happened, but nobody is necessarily the bad guy. It's just a failure to understand something correctly. It's not a purposeful mistake or a malicious attack. It's just an accident. And the present perfect is the absolute best tense for handling misunderstandings smoothly.
Let's give our listeners a chance to practice this right now. We want to make sure you can use this confidently today.
I love that. Listeners, we're going to pause for a moment. Dave is going to read a very aggressive, rude sentence using the past simple. I want you to look at your screen, imagine you are typing a text message, and say the polite version out loud using I haven't and the word yet.
Are you ready? Here is the aggressive sentence from a frustrated coworker. You didn't send the payment.
Pause here and say the polite version out loud to yourself. Protect your tone.
Did you say it? Let's check your answer. The perfect polite shield reply is, I haven't received the payment yet.
Excellent work if you got that right. Do you feel how much softer that is? You're not calling anyone a liar. You're just saying the money is not in the account right now.
It feels incredibly professional. Okay, so we know exactly how to use yet when someone else makes a mistake, but what happens when someone accuses you of making a mistake?
Oh, that is a very different feeling.
It is. Imagine your manager sends you a Slack message and asks, why didn't you finish the quarterly report? But you actually did finish it. You finished it 3 hours ago.
That would make anyone feel very defensive. It's a horrible feeling to be accused of forgetting something important when you actually worked really hard on it.
Exactly.
I would want to type back in all capital letters, "I finished it this morning."
which uses the past simple, I finished it. And while that is grammatically correct and completely true, it can sound a bit argumentative or defensive. It sounds like you're fighting back. Instead, we want to use our polite shield, but this time we use our second magic word. The word is already.
Already. I hear this word used all the time in movies and office conversations. How does it work here?
Already is a power word. We use it to show that something is finished maybe sooner than someone thought, or just to confidently confirm that a task is completely done.
So the structure would be the person plus have plus already plus the past participle.
Exactly. And remember our contraction. I've already finished it.
I've already finished it. That sounds so calm and collected. If you were enjoying learning how to build your polite shield with us today, please take a quick second to click the subscribe button below. It really helps our channel grow so we can keep making these practical English lessons for you every single week.
Yes, thank you so much for learning with us. We love having you here. Now, let's look closely at how already protects you in a conversation. Let's go back to your manager asking about the report. Instead of defensively saying, I finished it, you reply, I've already finished it. I've already attached it to the shared folder.
Oh, wow. I've already attached it. It sounds like you are completely in control of your emotions and your workload. It sounds like you are one step ahead of the manager.
That is the beautiful feeling of the present perfect. It is the feeling of success, competence, and control. You are communicating that the action is complete, the result is here, and there is absolutely no need for the manager to panic.
It stops the argument before it even starts. Let's look at another example of using already to defend yourself politely. Imagine a client emails you and says, "Where is my refund? You didn't pay me."
Again, they're using the aggressive past simple. You didn't pay me.
Right, and you checked the accounting system and the money was transferred yesterday. How do you reply?
You type, I have already processed the refund. Could you please double check your bank account?
That is such a great phrase. Could you please double check? What exactly does it mean to double check something?
To double check means to look at something a second time to make absolutely sure it is correct. It is a very polite, professional way to tell someone to look again because they probably missed something the first time.
So instead of saying, "You are wrong, look at your bank account again," which sounds very aggressive, you use the polite shield. "I've already processed it. Could you please double check?"
Exactly. You state your success using already, and then you gently ask them to look again. It is professional magic. No one loses face, and the problem gets solved quickly.
So we have yet for negatives when someone else makes a mistake, and already for completed actions when we need to defend our own work. Are there other ways to use the polite shield in daily communication?
Yes, there is a third scenario that happens all the time. Sometimes you need to ask someone to do something, or you need to remind them to do something, but you don't want to sound like you are giving them a strict order. You need to give them a gentle nudge.
A nudge, like a soft physical push.
Exactly. A nudge is a gentle reminder. Imagine you sent a project proposal to a coworker 3 days ago. You really need an answer from them so you can continue your work, but they haven't replied yet.
Ah, the waiting game. I hate being in that situation. Sometimes I get very confused here about how to ask for an update. I don't know if I should use a past simple question like, "Did you read my email?" or if I should use a present perfect question.
Ah, the big question. Did you versus have you? This is exactly where so many students feel a little hesitant, but it is actually a wonderful opportunity to show your advanced communication skills.
If I send a message on Slack saying, "Did you read my email?" it sounds a bit like a strict teacher scolding a student, like a teacher saying, "Did you do your homework last night?"
That is a perfect comparison. The past simple question, did you, points that finger again. It demands a direct yes or no answer about a specific past action. It puts a lot of pressure on the person reading the message. But if we use the present perfect, we soften the tone completely.
So, what is the present perfect version of that question? How do I nudge them politely?
We ask about their experience up until this current moment. We ask, have you had a chance to read my email?
Oh, I really love that. Have you had a chance to? It gives them a polite excuse built right into the question. If they haven't read it, it is just because they haven't had a chance yet. It implies that you know they are very busy.
Exactly. You are showing deep empathy for their schedule. You are communicating, I know you have a lot of work. I'm just checking the current status of the email. It removes all the pressure and guilt.
So the structure is have you plus the past participle had plus a chance to plus the base action verb. Have you had a chance to look at the file? Have you had a chance to review the contract?
Yes, excellent job. That is exactly right. It's perfect for checking your professional to-do list or following up on tasks without annoying your colleagues or seeming impatient.
I want to practice some of those third forms, the past participles, because they can be tricky to remember in the middle of a conversation.
Sure, let's practice a few common office verbs. How about the verb approve, like approving a budget for a new project? What is the third form?
That's a regular verb, so we just added D, approved. Have you had a chance to approve the budget?
Perfect. What about the verb sign, like signing a legal document?
Also regular, signed. SIGNED. Have you had a chance to sign the document?
Excellent. And what about an irregular verb? What about the verb write?
Write becomes written. WRITTEN. I've already written the summary.
You are doing great. Now, listeners, did you hear that? Dave said, I've already written. He used our contraction. He used our power word already, and he used the third form written. It flows together perfectly to create a confident, polite sentence.
It really does feel like second nature once you understand the psychology behind it. But sometimes I still worry I will mix up the tenses in a fast conversation. What is the absolute golden rule for choosing between the past simple and the present perfect when I am communicating?
Here is the simplest rule to remember. If you say exactly when something happened, if you name the time, you must use the past simple. If the specific time is not important, but the result right now is what matters, use the present perfect.
Okay, let me test that rule out loud. If I want to tell my team that I sent an email yesterday afternoon at 3 p.m., I am naming the specific time. I am saying yesterday. So I must use the past simple tense.
Yes, I sent the email yesterday at 3 p.m. That is grammatically perfect.
But if the exact time doesn't matter at all and I just want to reassure my anxious boss that the job is completely done right now, I use the present perfect.
Exactly. I've already sent the email. The time is not important to your boss. The feeling of success and completion right now is what matters to them. Present perfect connects the past action to the present moment.
I like that a lot. It connects the past to the now. It tells the listener, don't worry, the situation is handled, everything is fine.
Exactly. And remember our polite tone rule. The past simple can sometimes sound aggressive because it focuses on a specific failure. You didn't call me. But the present perfect softens the tone and acts as a shield. I haven't received a call yet.
It is truly amazing how just changing the grammatical tense changes the entire psychology of the conversation.
It really is. Language is powerful. When you use the present perfect this way, you sound mature, emotionally intelligent, and completely fluent in the subtle nuances of English communication.
And we can use this polite shield outside of the office too, right? This isn't just for business emails and client meetings.
Oh, absolutely. The polite shield works everywhere in your daily life to avoid unnecessary arguments. Imagine you're at a nice restaurant. You ordered a cup of coffee 15 minutes ago and it still isn't on your table.
If I use the aggressive past simple, I would say to the waiter, you didn't bring my coffee, or worse, you forgot my coffee.
Which will immediately make the waiter feel very defensive and stressed. But how would you handle it using the polite shield?
I would use yet. I would smile and say, excuse me, I haven't received my coffee yet.
Perfect. You're just calmly stating the current status of your table. The waiter will probably apologize immediately and hurry to get it for you without any bad feelings or awkwardness.
Or what about texting friends? Imagine I am waiting outside the movie theater. The movie starts in 10 minutes and my friend is running very late.
Instead of texting them an angry past simple message like, "Where were you? You didn't leave the house," which will just cause a fight before the movie even begins.
I could text them, "Have you left the house yet?"
Yes, have you left the house yet? It's a soft question checking their current status. It gives them a safe space to reply honestly without feeling attacked.
And if they are running late, they can use the present perfect to reply and apologize. They can text back, "I'm so sorry, I haven't left yet. I have just found my car keys."
Did you hear that? Dave just naturally used another fantastic modifier word, just, J-U-S-T.
Oh, right, I slipped that in there. How exactly do we use just in these messages?
We use just when the action happened a very short time ago, like 1 minute ago or even 10 seconds ago. I've just found my keys. I've just arrived at the station. It makes the news feel very fresh, exciting, and urgent.
So just is for things that happened a tiny moment ago. Already is for things that are finished sooner than expected, proving our competence, and yet is for things that haven't happened but we are hopeful and patient that they will.
You've got it perfectly, Dave. That's your complete Polite Shield toolkit for any situation.
I think our listeners are completely ready to take these phrases and use them in the real world today.
I agree. We want you to practice right now in the comments. Let's practice your Polite Shield. Imagine someone texts you and asks in an annoyed tone, "Where is the report?" Write a polite reply using the word already or the word yet. For example, "I have already sent it to your email." We'll read your comments and check your tone.
That is a great challenge. Ask yourself, have you subscribed yet? Have you liked the video yet? We love reading your stories and examples, and we will try to reply to as many of you as we can.
Thank you so much for listening today, everyone. You are doing a great job on your English journey, and mastering this Polite Shield proves you're taking your skills to the next level. Yes, keep going. You are amazing.
See you in the next episode. Goodbye.